Oh, we are coming to an end. We're coming to an end of this coaching series. And what better way to end this conversation than to talk about the student, the coachee, a self-accountability conversation, because a lot of us buy a lot of courses, do a lot of workshops, and yet and still we're in the same boat. So how do we get out of that boat? Are you ready? Can we talk about it? Are you ready? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Can we talk? Yes, can we talk about all the courses, workshops, challenges that we are signing up for? And yet and still, our habits have not changed. Can we go there? So before we do it, hello, my name is Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. We are the career coach, digital marketer, owner, entrepreneur at HouJack DMS. And this is HouJack DMS Live Learning. We want to welcome in everybody who is tuning in as we're streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And because we want to thank everybody for tuning in and vibing out with us as we go through this career journey. And entrepreneurship is a career choice. I want to thank you guys. Let us know where you're tuning in from. What city, state, country, where are you tuning in from? And we're going to get into it because I thought to myself, we've talked about the ugly side of coaching. We went there first, as we should. We want to recognize that, there are times where people take advantage of others, literally prey on those who are open to, want to do better. There are people who, I don't want to say addicted. I guess I kind of could, obsessed. I admit to being there. Like if it's a self-help thing, I'm probably in the room, but I don't buy every single thing that someone pitches to me, but I'm listening, right? So we discussed the ugly side of coaching. We talked about how to hire a coach. Okay. Well, the last part of this has to be about the students. It's got to be about the student because you're buying these courses, you're joining these challenges, you're downloading another free ebook. What have you done with it? What have you done with it? How do we get out of the muck of buying and buying and buying, attending, watching another webinar? How do we get out of that and get into a place of practicing what we have purchased? That today is what we're going to do. So let us get into it. Let's get into it. All right, let me see here. Well, let me go a little bit bigger because, me and my old eyes. All right, so here's the tips. Here are our tips. We want to prioritize and plan. We want to look at our primary goals. There's a reason why you took this course. There's a reason why you joined that challenge. There's a reason why you attended that workshop. What are your primary goals? We then want to break it all down, talk about accountability and support, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up and call it a day. All right, so first things first, let's prioritize and plan. A lot of us have taken a number of courses, And our very first step is to evaluate all the courses and workshops you've taken. Consider this. If you never really shop your wardrobe, how do you know you really need another black sweater? Do you really need it? Do you really need another black sweater, another pair of denim jeans, and do you really need it? So our first thing is to look at what courses you've taken, what workshops you've attended, what webinars you have watched. Make a list of that and look to see where you've duplicated efforts. Truth be told, Truth be told, what we're doing here is not new, right? Taking this sales course from that selling course, they're all the same to a certain degree. There may be one or two different tips that may work for you that finally resonated, but it's the same thing. But at what point do you stop taking the classes and putting it into practice? So number one is write down all the things you've taken, evaluate it. Then create a detailed plan to implement what you have learned. We need a plan. We've taken all this stuff. We need a plan. Think about when you attended high school, college. There was a syllabus. There was a plan that took you through what you were going to learn this year, that year, this quarter, this semester. There was a plan there. We are going to mimic that process and create a plan to look at what we've learned, but then also put it into practice. Now, here's the big one. We got to set some goals. Set some goals. We're going to talk about that. But we got to set some goals. And we must also allocate dedicated time to apply all the concepts that we have learned. There's no need to create these goals and then not give it its own space of your undivided attention. It's pointless. It's pointless. So we want to set the goals and allocate time, dedicated time to apply it, i.e. practice. I think immediately about, as a photographer first, my lighting class. Took this beautiful lighting class from John Gress, by the way. He's still teaching, so yeah, if you're a photographer, you look it up. But took this beautiful class. So one day workshop. And then we leave. Now, John is still available to chat with and ask questions. But you go to this class, and we're not talking a couple of dollars, we're talking a couple of dollars. So why go to this class and never practice what you learned during the workshop? So I started getting my lights together, getting my light meter, setting up some, quick backdrops. And maybe sometimes I was the person being photographed. Maybe I had somebody else, but I had to practice what that was, but I put it on my calendar. I made a time that I was going to practice what I had just purchased. So let's get into the next step. Your goals. We got to talk about your goals because you're taking all these courses, and I'm hoping that they all work together and actually align with what you were trying to do. That's the hope. But the last time somebody mentioned hope, they said it was just a strategy. So like hope without a plan is really a wish. Yeah, we need a strategy. We need a real plan here. Oh, and shout out to Gary. Look, Gary tuning in. I'm going to talk about you today, Gary. Hold on. I'm going to talk about you. In a good way, though. In a good way. I'm going to get to it. Think about your primary goals. So first of all, be realistic with what you can achieve. I know we've all heard about SMART goals. I know we have, right? SMART. Number one is specific, measurable. I've seen attainable, I've seen achievable, realistic, and time-bound. It's a SMART goal. You got to be specific. You just can't say, oh, well, I want to do this. Okay, but what exactly is this? And how exactly are you going to get it done? Like, we got it. And where are you doing it? It's got to be specific. More importantly, you got to be able to measure it. How are you going to measure it? How do we know? How do you know? How does everyone else know that you've met this goal if there is no way to measure that goal? Now, that could be numbers. It could be any other kind of metrics, but you got to know, how do you measure it? My favorite, achievable or attainable, depending on how you've seen it. But it's got to be achievable. Now, it shouldn't be so easy that it's like nothing. And it shouldn't be so hard that you get, a little depressed, right? There's got to be a sweet spot for you somewhere, right? So achievable or attainable. But let it be realistic. Now, I believe in shooting for the stars. Lord knows I do. I do believe in it. I have a list of aspirations. But when you look at my list of my aspirations, they're very possible. They are very possible. At the moment, they may appear to be so far away, but they are possible. So make your goal realistic. And then lastly, it's got to be time bound. It just can't be whenever, however, whatever. It's got to have a time attached to it. Is it in the next quarter, the next 90 days, the next year, within 12 months, whatever? You got to have some way to measure it, and then it needs to have a definite end. That's your SMART goal. So after that, you're going to break it down into individual tasks. As Gary says, I hope it's, you know what? It's good things. They're all good things, Gary. Trust. They're all good things. And since we're here, shout out to my mama who's always tuning in. What's going on there, Ma? You got to break it down into individual tasks. Now, as a person who has done tasks and big goals and things, you know how they say, how do you eat an elephant? Which I absolutely hate that phrase. I don't get it. I don't like who would eat an elephant, but how do you eat an elephant? One chunk at a time. Okay, yeah, whatever. I highly suggest to do 30-minute task. And we, as in people who organize, we have found that when you keep the task and the time short, it becomes attainable, achievable, and you see your progress immediately. If it goes too long, again, you're like, well, there's no point. I'll never get there. When you keep it short and sweet, just 30 minutes, all of a sudden you're seeing the progress. You're willing to keep going. You're feeling pretty good about your it's a different feeling when you do a 30-minute task. Now, I keep on my desk a 30-minute hourglass. It's beautiful, it's blue. But I'll turn that hourglass to give myself 30 minutes for a project. And then once that time is gone, I'm on to the next project. It's like, it's done. Email, 30 minutes, bam, and then I go. Keep myself focused. Turn it, next one. Da, 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 da. You just have to work on it chunks at a time. You don't have to do everything in one day. If you try that, I am telling you, you can easily become overwhelmed. And then also, too, depending on what you're doing, you might get off on some other tracks. Instead of focusing on your elephant, you start looking at the rabbits, and there you go. Your time is gone. Now, make sure that your goals align with your overall yearly and quarterly goals, right? So if your deal is to, let's say, do 60,000 for the year, right? Make sure that these smaller goals lead back up to that bigger $60,000 goal. The idea is to make everything work together. So I have to assume if you're taking these classes and these courses and these workshops and these challenges, that they all lead back up to your overall goal for your business or for your own personal growth, because you can do either one. But the focus is still the same. Are we ready? Break it down, down. Okay, so that list we had in the beginning, where we were looking at all the classes, challenges, workshops, ebooks, physical books that we have purchased. Review that list. Take that list, put it right beside your yearly and quarterly goal list. Right? We've got it. Now, here's the part that a lot of people feel as if they don't have to deal with because they're just that good. You got to put it on the calendar. You have to put it on the calendar. You need to schedule dedicated time on your calendar to get things done. Now, I do have a to-do list. I have like a little quick one to keep, on the desk, like for like quick stuff. But I also have a place on my calendar that talks to my phone, that talks to this over here. They all talk together. I have time dedicated to the task. There is a time to answer email and review my calendar, like update it. There is a time to work on social media content for this business. There's a time to work on it for that business. There's a time where I sit down and read. There's a time for exercising, a time for the hubs, right? Now, there are some things that kind of grow from wherever, because that's life, right? But if you put it on your calendar with a reminder, you have a higher chance of showing up versus I'll just wing it. Because winging it, I'm telling you, doesn't really work. If you have taken the time to go through, I'll speak to what I'm doing now. I am in 2 challenges. Woo! I have joined 2 challenges because it does work with my overall goals. But I have to put time on the calendar to get that stuff done, right? One of them is only 3 days. Today is day 2, but I got my stuff done yesterday, posted my homework as I'm supposed to, right? So I got it done, but working on this is part of my overall goal. So I'm not just doing this challenge and not seeing like anything from it. It is helping me go with what else is going on. I almost didn't do it. But then I thought, well, I got to get this task done. If I join this challenge, it'll force me to get it done. So why not? So we have a meeting at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central, that I go out of this live right into that meeting to talk about this challenge and get on like the next exercise. Dedicated time. You can do all of the classes, download all the videos you want to, do every YouTube, whatever. But unless you make time for it, it will just be part of this pile. So schedule time for yourself to get all of these things done. Give yourself that quiet time and that space so that you're not overwhelmed. Rome was not built in a day. I don't like that saying either, but it's true. It's true. It takes time for these things. So you ask yourself, when are you going to get it done? Because tomorrow is today. Today's the day to get it done. Put it on your calendar, right? Put it on your calendar. So now let me get into what I call the fun part. This is the fun part of it because we've evaluated, we broke it all down, we've got our goals. And I will say, just a quick little sidebar here, for goal setting, give yourself anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour because you're going to write a lot of stuff down and you want to fine tune it. I typically just throw all the ideas out. I just throw them out there and then I'll fine tune it. Personally, when I work with people, they don't have more than 2 goals. Like 1 really is enough because this would be so big and take up so much time that when you break it down, you need all the quarters to get it done. If it was crazy easy, then what's the point, right? So typically 1 goal is what we work on. We may have like a smaller one, but we don't do more than 2. I've never suggested more than 2 because you become overwhelmed. And the idea is to get these things done, is to see the movement, is to see the growth. So don't I'm not a hiker. Although I did scale Bear Mountain in some jeans and sneakers. But when people look at taking on Mount Everest, that takes time and they plan accordingly. Otherwise, it can get bad. It can get like really bad. So how do we scale a Mount Everest? Here we are. Here we are. This is about you, Gary. This is about you. Tune in, listen up. You need accountability and support. You need both. Maybe the same person, it may be different people. You need both. Number one, get an accountability partner. And I should say, and or create a small group who have similar interests. Gary is one of my accountability partners. I got a couple. I'm just gonna put it out there because different interests, different areas of the business. But Gary is my partner, and I think it was last week. Was it last week or this week? I don't know. Time is all blending now. But we got together. We did a virtual meeting. We worked out our second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter goals. We talked about our yearly goals. And because I am a little, I'm not going to use the word demanding, but influential. It was last week. All the days are running together now. Because I'm a little influential, I suggested and sent out an invite to our shared OneNote notebook where we each have a tab and have checklists and all that kind of stuff. Right? To keep all the things in order. Get you a partner. Use the tools available and have a way of tracking what you're doing. Because just talking about it is just that. It's just talk. Right? It's just talk. We got to be about it at this point. We've paid the money. $200, $3,000. Now, if you're in the $40,000 circle, you probably shouldn't be on this live, but I could be wrong. But you've paid the money. More importantly, you have given your time. Time to show up. Show up for you. Because that coach, that educator, they have done their part. They gave you the info. You now must do the work. So along with an accountability partner, get you a circle, a community of people with like interests. I belong to a cute photog community where we discuss marketing ideas, pricing concerns, the latest workshop, all the things, products, all the things. We talk all the time because we're all photographers. We may not all photograph the same thing, but we are business owners and photographers. So we're doing the same thing and we may have similar interests. Get you a community. Find you one or two. It could just be 3 people, right? It could be 4. But get you a community of like interests and get that support. When you can create a support system, you want to have it where you can honestly discuss your progress, your challenges, and your successes. I will say this, I have said it, is on many videos worldwide. Your win is my win. I'm not concerned about this not being my season. I will be your cheerleader, be on the sidelines, rooting for you as you cross that finish line. I will be there in the audience, right? I'm there. Get you some people, I don't want to say it, who aren't threatened by your success and who want to see you succeed, genuinely see you succeed. Get you some good people, some good energy people, because they're out there, they're possible. Gary's one. Oh, Erica, we're gonna talk about Erica's comment right after this. But Erica's one. Erica has created a community for photographers where they can share things about business, education, gear, any journey can get kind of lonely. Now, I am a loner. That's why I was like a marathon, half marathon runner. I enjoyed it. Put on some music and just vibe out and ask myself why I'm running 13 and some change in miles on my 2 feet, but I loved it. Love it. But I also know that on a couple of those races, I would see people that I had raced with at the last one, and we link up to keep ourselves on the same pace. You don't have to do it, but it is fun when someone says, just keep moving, you got it, just keep moving. It doesn't hurt. It feels good. So think about that. Get you some good people. Lastly, schedule those check-ins. You have to check in on a regular basis. Now, for this past week, Gary and I have been exchanging texts, make sure our homework was done because we're in this challenge together, right? You got to have that accountability partner. Great, you got it. Now what? Schedule those regular check-ins. Helps you stay on track, and you get honest feedback and honest insights, right? You got to have that. It goes back to that last slide. Just talking about it is that put it on your calendar. If you can, schedule it out in advance. That says, great, Q3 is starting. So we should be meeting either that first week of Q3 or the last week of Q2. And it can be like 30 minutes. Depending on how big your group is, could be 30 minutes. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just tuning in to say, I got blah, 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 blah done. I got a meeting, I got to run. Okay, great, bye. Right? But think about that. Got to have those regular check-ins. All right. We're at our place for adding for a little commentary here, a little Q&A. So if you got questions, by all means, throw them into the chat. We've got Erica who's tuning in from LinkedIn today. And again, Erica has a great photography community that she has started. We're also part of another little photo group. We're part of some stuff. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? So she says, ask yourself, if the stuff you keep buying isn't exactly what you're looking for, why do you keep buying the same crap or keep buying into the FOMO? Yes. Now, as an honorary New Yorker, you can never have too many black sweaters. Okay, I'm sorry, you can't. You can't have too many black sweaters, too many bags, you just gotta have it. But in this case, because it's now your time and your money, ask yourself, do you need another one? And I do want to bring up another point. Thank you for bringing that up, Erica. That FOMO. People do like to give the illusion of missing out. Now, I don't have that. I literally have a water bottle that I got from Oprah's camp that says JOMO, the joy of missing out. It's beautiful. It's rose gold. Love it. I have the joy of missing out. But to Erica's point, you can get caught up into believing the FOMO, believing in that exclusive thing. Again, this challenge. So I'm doing a LinkedIn challenge. I'm doing this marketing challenge. But the only reason why I did the marketing challenge, and I literally signed up at the last minute, the day before it started, is because on my goals for Q3, they tie in together. So I thought, okay, you got to get this done. Why not join this group and do it with the group? That's a plus. So far it's working for me. Gary says community is really important. Get a partner or partners. It may help you get over buying so much because you have a community you can just call and pull from. That is true. That is true, right? A lot of times there are things that if we have tried something, like, yeah, you could do it, but this may work this way as well. Just you can go ahead and go this way. So think about who you're working with. There's tons of information. Depending on how long they've been in business, or Gary's a podcaster, they may have some really great knowledge that's already available to you. Before you spend that $3,000, $300, $50,000, exhaust the free. See what your partner or partners may already have access to. Erica also says, I ask myself why anybody run. Okay, so let me tell you real quick about running, because I know Erica likes a good sidebar. I don't know why we run. I don't know. I'm a loner. I absolutely like getting my music. I have a couple of playlists. I have my cute outfit on, my wonderful sneakers, and we just get out there and we just start going. I feel like Forrest Gump. Now, they're not free. I get that they're not free, but the swag typically is really nice. And I have a plethora of really attractive medals. Like it's about the medal. It's called Race Bling. It's about the race bling. It's about the medal. And if you were ever a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout or any kind of kid who enjoyed collecting stickers and badges, then this is your jam. Running does that. I mean, you can also do a power walk, you can jog, but yes, Gwendolyn enjoyed running. What can I tell you? Oh my goodness. So really quick, if you're watching in the replay, you got questions, you can email me, right? It is grhjack@HouJackDMS.com. You can visit a website, schedule a quick little chat as well at HouJackDMS.com. And I want to thank everybody who has tuned in today. Hopefully, hope is not a strategy. It's merely a wish without a plan. Okay, so forget the hope. We are going to do it as the OneNote notebook that I created for myself and Gary says, get her done, right? We're going to get her done. Before we leave, shout out to Spencer representing Atlanta. As he says, I really hate that you can't join the chat on a smart TV. For all. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you for tuning in, Spencer. We appreciate it. Maybe in the future, they'll figure out how to get people who are on a smart TV to send in like their chats and get like interactive. Surely it's right around the corner, right? Surely. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We have finished our coaching series. We should be returning to our selling series. We're going to return to our selling series, right? We want to talk about customer types and all that kind of thing and having a conversation and all that kind of stuff, right? We'll return to that. That'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'll return to that. But I know this, as I mentioned before, something has to give. Gwendolyn is not buying another thing, okay? Not doing it. Gary's holding me to it. So is Erica. Well, she's a slight bad influence, but so is Erica. She's holding me to it. She said, "Oh, that's Reggie. It's a kid's name." Oh my God. I like it. She said, "Hope is not a strategy. It's a kid's name." Thank you. My God. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to wrap this up. Again, you got questions, put them in the comments or send me an email. Again, be sure to like, share, subscribe. HouJack DMS. I'm also at GR Houston Jack on YouTube. Enjoy your day.